umbrella. I don't know if you want to use it or not. I'm wondering if there's... What would you think of a book instead?
No. No. That's the...
This is a 120.
Tilt down a little bit and pan right a little bit. And I think you're going to have to Scheimpflug.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I
Okay.
just want to get the framing.
Okay.
That's actually, I haven't used this yet. It's a very cool app.
You tilted too much.
All right.
I'd pan back to the left just a little bit.
Shall I move back a little?
Yeah, back off just a bit. Good. So I think now the key would be to Scheimpflug.
Scheimpflug. We are going to focus on...
Because what I'd like to do is make sure we get the string sharp and this sharp.
Okay,
36.
4 feet, 1.5 inches. Okay. I've got good sharpness there. So that's getting sharper.
Okay, that's sharp.
Yeah.
So more Scheimpflug and a little bit closer focus.
Talk about your trial and error.
Almost.
Yeah, getting closer.
That's as close as we can get.
Not bad for seat of the pants. Down a bit. So how are we doing on framing?
Let me do another shot just to establish. We've been doing a lot of tweaking and fiddling because unfortunately live view is not on the back. So
Nope.
trying to do a still life tethered without a viewfinder is a little tricky.
Yep.
Let me go ahead and shoot this.
And without a ground glass.
Yes.
Getting Scheimpflug without a ground glass or live view is really a matter of just trial and error.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and fire it?
Oh, the exposure looks a little hot?
Yeah, just a little, but I think it's fine. The only thing I'd like to do, Mike, if we could, is let's knock back the fill light just a little bit.
Okay. Nice thing about working tethered to your hard drive is we can do 21,000 frames on your available disk space.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so that's actually looking pretty sharp there. This looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, the screen, of course, the screen image, this is something Klaus told me.
Yeah.
The screen image does not look as sharp as it will be. Well, they're trying to get the image up quickly.
Yep. So I think actually at this point we're looking pretty good. The only thing, do you have anything translucent? So this is a very high-tech studio.
Yeah, this is the dining area of my house near Creemore. Should point out that what we're shooting with here is a Phase One IQ180 back on a Alpa STC, a Schneider 120mm Apo-Digitar. We've got
Scheimpflugery.
We have 6 degrees of Scheimpflug tilt dialed in. We're on an Arca Cube head, and we're breaking all the rules by having the column up, but we don't care because we're shooting with flash.
Fix it in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and fire it off again.
Okay. Oh, and we're ISO 100 and f16.
Yeah.
That softened it a bit. Still a little hot.
But I think in order to knock that down, I'm going to have to come in with a shadow making device.
What are you thinking of? Oh, okay, a bottle brush. Ah, yes. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, I like that.
Well, I did want to actually pan the camera a little bit to the left.
Very nice.
I think that's
come
pretty
together.
good. So now what I'd like to do, even though we've got the Scheimpflug for focus, let's do just a bit of a focus bracket.
Okay.
And
So
I think our close focus is fine. Let me just double check. Yeah, this actually looks quite good. I want to have some of the front of this violin in focus, and I think the only way to do that is with a little bit of a focus bracket.
okay.
Just give me one just a little bit further away.
A little further? Okay. So I'm going to go to 4.1.
Yeah, that edge is sharp. This edge is sharp.
And how are we doing right at the bow?
It's
Gotten a little softer.
yeah, and that's fine. But we've got this sharp now.
Look at that resolution.
So just for yucks, one more a little bit further distant, and then I think it's
And then
it's a
then we've
wrap
got
time.
it. Okay.
And one of the things that I wanted to point out, which is kind of fun, the Capture One Pilot.
Right, so you can immediately see your image. And so the way that's set up is via the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
You log on to the Wi-Fi with both devices.
Down here under the Capture Pilot, I've got it acting as an image server.
Right. That's very cool. So in a studio environment, the client can be sitting
Away.
yeah, away from the camera
Yeah.
and reviewing the shots.
Yeah.
Very nice.
You know, it's interesting. You can't shoot from it,
No.
but I'm sure they're going to make some innovations. So, Michael, I think,
I think we're there.
yeah. And before anybody says anything, do you want to give a little bit of the provenance of this violin?
The violin was borrowed from a friend, and all I can recall about it is it's from the 1880s, Italy, and it's quite valuable.
Very valuable, to the point where the fact we were all just a little bit nervous dealing with this. And one of the things I was going to point out here, Michael.
Stupid Michael
Yeah.
said, "Oh, it's dusty."
And there are actually your fingerprints, and you know what? I'm thinking I'm going to leave this on.
Are you?
Well, the reason is that the reason I kind of like the rosin is it looks like it's just been put down on the old music that, by the way, I made by taking music off the web, printing it on my laser printer, and then soaking it in tea.
Tea staining them.
Tea
yeah.
staining them.
Right.
So I think, Michael, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I don't know that...
You got to do, no, you got to do it the Mexican way. No, like this. Hand out, and then fist bump. Gently.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's a wrap. So we're back down in the dungeon.
And you're wearing another new shirt. Actually, it's an old shirt.
No, actually, this is the same shirt I was wearing upstairs in the studio.
Oh.
Gotcha.
I think I was tired.
Yes, you were.
It was the end of a long day.
Yeah, but you did actually make for a pretty good assistant.
I appreciate the fact that I was helpful to you.
Yeah, and we didn't screw up the violin at all. Thank
No.
God. So this is basically the results of the shots. These are the last four, and I've done a little bit of processing in Capture One. You can see here this is totally as imported, and here is a few little tweaks in Capture One. The primary tweaks were a white balance that warmed up the temperature a little bit. The strobes were a little bit cool, you know. I did a little bit of shadow highlight adjustment, added some clarity, because you can never have too much clarity.
Never.
I did do an adjustment, a local adjustment using, and this is 612, that basically allowed me to locally darken down the sheet music that was a little bit bright and then darken down beyond there.
Right.
I'll do more in Photoshop.
Right.
So basically,
Gee, I'm so surprised.
well, I think you'll see I haven't done an awful lot
No,
in
you
Photoshop.
haven't. No,
It's fairly
pretty
straight.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
So I'm going to go over to Process.
Or process.
Or Process. I'm going to output to the Digital Captures output folder, and I'm going to process out 16-bit ProPhoto RGB. This is a recipe that is kind of one of my standard ones.
Right.
So basically, the final files will be 458 megs. So I'll go ahead and click Process.
Yep.
Owing to the magic of editing. Here are the 4 images that I processed out.
Okay, so now this is our focus bracket.
Yes.
Because even with Scheimpflug, even with f16, and we didn't want to go smaller than f16 because we would start to get into diffraction and lose resolution, we still didn't have enough depth of field.
So this is the closest focus. Which
right. So we did a 4-frame focus bracket.
And this is back focus, and you can see the size gets a little smaller.
Yep.
Another back focus and another back focus.
Yep.
And what it's basically doing is taking the critical plane of focus and moving it back. I did, while you were sleeping last night, a test focus bracket in Photoshop, and it kind of sucked. Focus bracketing has a real hard time with lots of little thin textural detail. So what I wanted to do is take the closest focus and the second to the furthest focus.
I'm putting on my glasses for this.
Okay, so that you can focus?
Yes.
Okay. Then
the word focus kept focusing my attention.
Go up under Load Files into Photoshop Layers. Okay.
Gee, that's critically sharp.
So here is the critical focus up close.
God, look at that detail.
But you see that the fall off on the depth of field,
Yep.
I'm losing the detail here.
Yep.
And basically the same situation up here. The strings are in close focus. So what I basically want to do is to blend this further focus, and you can see how the rosin dust just literally pops.
Yeah.
But you can see that it's out of position.
Right.
So the easy way to do that is just shift select both of those and go up under Edit, Auto Align Layers. And I'm not going to do geometric distortion. I'm just going to do auto. And this is different than the focus blending. What this is literally trying to do is to get
the pixels to sit on top of each other.
Yeah.
So it's going to do all kinds of changes.
All kinds of transforms to try to get the stuff to be in registration.
God, the hamsters have to be running really fast for me.
Yeah. The hamsters are on methamphetamine at the moment.
No. Well, you've got 2 450 meg files.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and quit Capture One because, thank you, we're done with Capture One.
Right, and it's just taking up RAM.
And
What kind of RAM do you have on this?
8 gigs.
8 gigs. Okay.
But, you know, it's just like money. You can never be too rich or too thin. In this case, you can never have too much hard drives or too much RAM.
Or too many hamsters.
Or too many hamsters. Yeah, this is a team of hamsters that...
This is slave labor. Look at this.
Yeah, well...
this is a fast computer.
Yes, but I've got the completed image with all the layers open in the background for the purposes of... This was just for the purposes of demonstration.
Okay.
Which,
it's almost done.
Yeah.
It's almost done.
Yeah, you know, you say that, but it's that last little bit that seems to take forever.
Right.
It starts out quick, leads you to believe that it's not going to be that long, and then
you get the spinning gear for a while. Okay, so we've aligned all the pixels between the 2 layers.
So let's confirm that. So now when I turn this on and off, you can see that there's no shift.
Right.
Except for some dust.
Right.
And basically what I want to do is say, okay, this bottom one is the close focus. This top one is the far focus. I'm going to create a hide all layer mask on the far focus. And then just come in, let's see, I'll do it at 30%. And literally just kind of paint in focus.
Right. So you're painting in the
far focus
on top of the near focus layer.
Yes. So remember, I wanted to get the edge of the violin here in focus.
Yep. And what kind of a feathering do you have? So 40% opacity, 100% flow.
It's a totally soft Gaussian. And
Okay. You don't have to do the whole thing. I get the point.
well,
It's a lot of work. An hour and a half?
no, not for doing this. This was like easy. This is like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It was
Spotting?
spotting all the darn dust spots.
Okay.
You can kind of
Not the dust spots on the sensor. The dust spots on...
Yeah, I did spot one of those.
Yeah, there was one
So
sensor spot.
here, the bridge here is still sharp. That's the close focus, and now I've just painted in some far focus.
Right.
Okay.
Cool. So again, this is something we could never have done in the old world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're in Photoshop, and what I wanted to do this is the close focus. This is the far focus. I did a combo, and I'll just show you. This is kind of an interesting dilemma. I intentionally decided to shoot the violin with the rosin caused by playing, and it had that kind of dusty look, like it had just been played and laid down. And of course, then you added your fingerprints, which are, I think, an aesthetic addition.
Well, that's why I did it.
Yeah. There is still a lot of crap. If you look here, there's still a lot of crap that is distracting. I don't think the rosin on the violin itself is distracting, and I'm not even distracted by the fingerprints. Although I'm thinking I should have slapped your hand just before you touched the violin. But what I did do is go through and finesse and get rid of anything that I thought was visually distracting. So, you know, you can see that...
well, when you're down here at the microbe level...
it's just 100% view.
Yeah, I know, but 100% view on a 500 meg file.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So then back to the full view. One of the things that I wanted to do is to go back in and give just kind of a wedge of darkness at the upper right and lower left. And then I thought that perhaps in Capture One I kind of overestimated how much darker I wanted the paper. So I came back in here with a little bit of sculpting, which I cover elsewhere, just to kind of pop the center. I mean, I could have done that by darkening all four corners or just lightening.
So instead of a vignette, you just light the center, because it was already pretty dark.
Yeah, just kind of, you know, pop it open a little bit.
Well, these are the kinds of aesthetic decisions that we make, you know, in trying to interpret the scene.
I was actually, when I just popped this open, I had already soft-proofed this using your Canson profile. So this is what it looked like without.
Right.
And what I thought was that the moment that I soft-proofed, that I needed to punch up the center.
Right.
So that's basically it. Now, I could print this from Photoshop, but my preference is to print from Lightroom, so I'd rather print it from Lightroom. I've gone ahead and imported the final image after I saved it out of Photoshop, brought it into Lightroom, and you can see now the combined image. If I wanted to go back and edit this further, I could just literally go up under Photo, Edit in Photoshop, and it would pop the dialog, do I want to edit with Lightroom adjustments or do I want to edit the original? I would want to edit the original to maintain the integrity of those layers. So this is a one-to-one view. I'm going to go into Print, and I'm going to choose the Canson 7900 just to confirm it's the 7900. I made a 24 by 30 so that there are, you know, 4 equal 1-inch borders.
Right.
Then in the print settings, printer settings, roll paper, premium luster is the media setting, 2880, 16-bit, high speed. And you say you've adjusted the media control?
Yeah, I adjusted the platen gap.
To wide or wider?
To wide.
Okay, so it is communicating here and showing that up.
Right.
Because we were having an occasional head strike because of
not on the image.
the paper curl.
Yeah, but on the edges because of paper curl. That's one of the downsides of the Canson paper. It tends to be stiff.
Yeah, it's also, well, I mean, it's one of the downsides. You have to deal with roll paper all the time. I
Generally,
mean, you know, watercolor paper can get a pretty tight roll too. I tend to like bigger cores than smaller cores, but, and I think that's on a 3-inch core.
That's on a 3-inch core, yeah.
So under the image settings, rotate to fit, which is one of the reasons that I print from Lightroom, because I can't do that in Photoshop. 1-inch minimum margins here, maximum cell size 28 by 22. In actuality, it'll be 20.166, like you need it in hundredths. Actually, that's thousands, isn't it?
It's thousands, yeah.
Thousandths of an inch by 28. And then under the print job, if I uncheck this, you'll see that with the IQ180, the native file size would be 361. But based upon our testing and the resolution of this image and the resolution of the printer, I'm going to go ahead and upsample that to 720, use standard print sharpening, glossy media, 16-bit output, and then here is the profile that you gave me for the Canson paper. So basically it's just a matter of confirming that I've got the right template, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click print one.
Okay, as soon as it comes off the printer, let's throw it up on the Lightbox and have a look at it.